Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, November 21st of 2024. It is approximately 2:08 p.m. and we are convening a session of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board. With me today in office is one of our board members, Nancy Cameradiner, as well as virtually our board chair, Paula Weiss, as well as George Matthews and John O'Connor. It is my responsibility to remind everybody to please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is being recorded. Because the meeting is public, participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy. And by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will be posted on the Tax Review Board website. Again, the first case up is 1123 Spruce Street. But Paula, I'm just going to run into the room and put them in.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Tax Review Board hearings for November 21st, 2024 are now in session. On our agenda, we are going to start with case number 2, last 4 digits of the docket, 69SW, 1123 Spruce Street is the address involved. Petitioner is in our offices and is coming into the hearing room. Yanji Yi. Mr. Yi?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. Thank you for coming in today. Could you state your full name for the record, please?
Yanjie Yi, YANJIE, last name is YI.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we're going to turn to the city representatives first in order to have them explain to us the periods of time and dollar amounts in controversy. Then we're going to come back to you and you will have an opportunity to explain to us why you're here and what you're looking for from our board. So who has this matter for the city?
Thank you, members of the board. Jeffrey Cohen, I think the only city attorney here today.
Welcome, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you very much. So this matter is a reinspection fee matter. There are 2 reinspections that triggered fees under the Philadelphia Code. Those reinspections being on June 13th of 2023 and September 12th of 2023. The actual report at issue, which was a fire escape inspection report, was submitted on September 14th of 2023, after which the violations were marked complied. So it is those 2 reinspections that failed that triggered fees of $100 and $200 for a total of $300.
Okay, so are you testifying as to the dollar amounts?
Oh, no, I'm not testifying. I'm just laying the land of the case, and I'll leave it to the LSU representative.
All right, 613.23 fee is 100. The
That's correct.
912.23 fee is 200. Okay, are there additional dollar amounts on this bill?
I'll let the LSU representative handle the actual entry of numbers, and we can swear her in so that her testimony is
who is that today on this case? We have more than one person, I think.
Is it Ms. Mitchell?
Yes,
Mitchell?
I will be. Yeah, I'll be doing the numbers.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Mitchell. Could you state your name and position with the department, please?
Sure. My name is Lashika Mitchell. I am a code administrator for license and inspection.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. So could you please give us or expound on the periods of time and dollar amounts that are in question today?
Sure. 1123 Spruce Street. This is an audit investigation unit bill. The bill is dated 9/22/2023. Bill number 2023-002327. And the principal amount is just $300. There's no interest or penalties. Once again, the total amount is $300.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So, Mr. Cohen, did you have any other opening remarks before we turn to Mr. Yi?
No opening remarks, just that I have with me Dennis Link from the Audits and Investigations Unit of L&I as my witness for this hearing, and we'll swear him in later.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Yi, what would you like to tell us about how these, you're here challenging reinspection fees. What would you like to tell us about these fees?
Yeah, so this is a fire escape already completely fixed, and repaired. And, after this, reinspection, I never got any reinspection report. But this is already fixed and repainted. So I just wonder, whether I can get waived of this $300 fine for the re-inspection fee, because I never got any re-inspection report. And so it already completely fixed and painted right now.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cohen?
I'm unaware of anything similar to a re-inspection report. Mr. Yi, what exactly do you believe a re-inspection report is?
Well, I saw this re-inspection said, it failed, but I definitely never got any this re-inspection report. So,
But you did
I
get
feel-
notice that that the it's a fire escape? Is that what we're talking about?
Fire
The
escape.
Fire escape did not pass inspection and that you needed to file a certification as to its condition with the city, correct?
yes.
So you knew. And you got, okay, Mr. Cohen?
I just wanted to clarify with Mr. Yi what the re-inspection report he thought was. Now I have questions for the city's witness, unless Mr. Yi has additional evidence to add.
It doesn't sound.
Yeah, I think I got the re-inspection report on September 2023. It's few days, but the fixed, fixed of this is done, reported by the, inspection also is just few days ahead of time.
Okay.
It's passed, but it's, limited repair and repainting again.
So do you think, Mr. Cohen, he's talking about the original notice of violation?
He might be a bit confused about, well, one, the original notice of violation, and two, the difference between a fine and a fee. Because in this case, the city isn't seeking or has not imposed fines through this statement of outstanding fees. It is just re-inspection fees.
Okay, why don't you put your case on?
Okay. The city calls Dennis Link of the Audits and Investigations Unit.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Link. How are you today? You're on mute.
I'll give him a moment. Are you able to request, ask to unmute?
I can, 1 second.
Okay.
There should be a button there that's saying,
Oh, there we go.
Okay, his audio is not coming, it's not coming on.
hold on 1 second. Mr. Lin, can you say something? Yeah.
Yes, he can. We just can't hear you.
Yeah.
Um,
Hear him, Ms. Mathis?
He is hitting the button to unmute, but it's staying muted.
Can he just come to where you are? Because it sounds like.
Okay, okay, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
all right, Mr.
Sorry,
Link, we're gonna take a minute and let him switch places.
I apologize,
thanks.
though we did,
Okay.
at 11 a.m. today, we did test out the
Hello,
microphone
Mr. Link.
over Teams, but not on Zoom.
It's okay, it's okay.
All right, Mr. Link, can you say something now?
Yes, this is Mr. Link and I'm
Excellent.
here.
Terrific. Could you state your full name and position with the department?
Certainly. I am Dennis Link, Administrative Specialist with the Audits and Investigations Unit of LNI.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you very much. If I can share my screen
Yes.
or share on my screen the relevant exhibits packet. All right, Mr. Link, can you see my screen?
I can.
All right. Just for the board's edification, I've included a copy of the statute, the applicable statute in the first part of the packet. The highlighted portion is what's at issue, the code violation reinspection fees. All highlighting in all of these exhibits is my own. They have been added after the fact. They're not in the original. And just for the board's sake again, the second reinspection, which is the third failed inspection, is $100. The fourth failed inspection is $200, and everything thereafter would be $350, but that's not an issue here.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Link. How long have you worked at LNI and in what capacities?
I have been at LNI for 26 years. It's been a long range of capacities, but always under the title of administrative specialist.
Through the course of your duties with LNI, have you reviewed LNI's records for 1123 Spruce Street?
I have.
What's the document that I currently have on screen?
So that is a notice of violation pertaining to failure to submit a report for a fire escape.
And is this the type of document LNI keeps in the ordinary course of its business?
Yes, it is.
Is this the type of document that an LNI employee would enter the information into through their regular duties?
Yes, it is.
And just pointing out, what's the date of this notice?
The date of this notice is January 11th, 2023.
And we'll actually scroll down to page 6 in the packet, the second page of the notice. I just wanted to point out for the board, it says in the print here, in addition to the fines listed above, failure to timely correct the violations will result in a sort of a bunch of additional issues or bunch of additional potential consequences, one of which is reinspection fees. And it sets out $100, $200, $350.
Mr. Cohen, I'm going to interrupt a moment. Someone is having some.
I got it. I think it's behind Mr. Link. It's the office around Mr. Link.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Link, could
Okay.
you ask them to quiet down? Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Going to page 8 in the packet, what is this document that I have on screen?
So this indicates what the case number is, the case file. And it has when the case was established. And it has the last time of update.
I'm sorry, Mr. Link, I think you cut out a little bit. You repeat the last sentence you said?
Yeah, so it's a summary of a case file. And it has the case number, the date that it was created, and the date of last update.
And is this a document that LNI keeps in the ordinary course of its business?
It is.
And does an LNI employee enter the info that goes into this document through their regular duties?
And an LNI employee does.
So just scrolling down to the bottom here, is this on straddling pages 8 and 9? Are these the re-inspections that occurred, or inspections and re-inspections that occurred in this case?
Yes. So as a normal part of our process, there would be the initial inspection. And again, that's just a check to see if there is a report on file when it's required. In this case, there was not. So it failed initial inspection and the first notice was sent out. Then there was a re-inspection. Again, there was no report on file. So that re-inspection was failed. And then we, as a matter of our process, do a second re-inspection. And at that point, again, there was nothing on file. So the case failed and then it was sent to municipal court.
And the second re-inspection, was that June 13th?
Yes, June 13th of 2023.
So then what happened after June 13th?
So then what we do is we prepare a case for municipal court. And before there is the court hearing, we do a court, what we call pre-court inspection. And in this instance, again, it failed because on the check of September 12th, 2023, there was still no report on file. So that was the last inspection check that was conducted regarding this case.
Mr. Link, could I ask a question? Are these just paper checks or did somebody actually go out and look?
So these are paper checks because the nature of the violation is administrative.
Okay.
So it doesn't assess anything about the fire escape itself. All we do is we look to see if a engineer's report has been submitted for the fire escape.
And in this particular case, scrolling down to page 10 in the packet, what is this document that we have on screen?
Well, on this particular screen, it's,
I can enlarge it if that helps.
yeah, it's hard for me to see. I just want to
Sorry,
make
one
sure that
moment.
I'm affirming the correct thing.
There we go. How's that?
Okay, yeah, that's good. It's the right size. So yeah, that's indicating that the fire escape report was submitted by a particular engineer, and that the inspection result was safe with repair.
And what date was this submitted on to LNI?
So it says here the inspection date was September 12th of 2023.
I mean, sorry, apart from when it was actually inspected, when was the report submitted to LNI?
September 14th of 2023.
And is this a document LNI keeps in the ordinary course of its business?
It is.
And is the information that goes into this document entered by an LNI employee through the course of their ordinary duties?
Well, I mean, generally the engineer is the one who must submit the report into the system. So it's not a situation where they would submit it to us and then we would put it in.
Well, let me rephrase it because there is sort of a split of what the engineer is reporting and what LNI is doing. Is the submission date one of the things that an LNI employee would enter through the ordinary course of their duties?
Submission date, yes. That would be in order to comply the violation.
And just scrolling down to the next exhibit on page 12. Is this the actual report that was submitted for 1123 Spruce Street?
Yes, so we do require a summary report to be submitted. Sometimes the client or the building owner will submit the full report, but that's not necessary. So what we're looking at is the summary inspection form for 1123 Spruce Street.
So something to indicate, I, a professional, went out on this date, inspected, and made the following determinations in summary, something like that?
That's correct.
And the date on the bottom of this report, what is that date?
So that date is September 14th, 2023.
So the same day it was uploaded or submitted to LNI?
Yeah. So it would be impossible to me that somebody could attest to having, received and read the report on September 14th and have submitted it any earlier than that.
Wait, I'm
Thank you.
getting confused. What is this?
Oh, no,
Explain.
just, sorry, this is to establish that the actual report that is at issue in this violation was dated September 14th. It was also submitted on September 14th. So because those could be two separate dates, I'm just establishing a record that they are in fact the same date. It was uploaded
Yeah.
the same day it was signed.
Oh,
Yes, Mr. Cohen is correct, and they are on the same date. So, yeah, I apologize if any explanation was not clear to that effect.
And I have nothing further for Mr. Link. Thank you very much. I just want to point out for the board, the bill at issue, the statement of outstanding fees is on page 15 in the packet. And the appeal, the petition that was filed, is on page 17 in the packet.
correct. And I just want to confirm for my own understanding, Mr. Link, your testimony is that at no time did anyone from LNI actually physically inspect the fire escape.
No one from LNI physically inspected the fire escape. The reason being that the report was not written in regards to anything related to the fire escape itself or the condition of the fire escape. The only violation that was submitted in this case was for failure to provide a report that by code must be submitted at a minimum every 5 years for any property owner who maintains a fire escape.
Thank you.
Actually, I have one or two more questions for Mr. Link based off that. How much time does AIU spend in terms of like personnel hours checking fire escape reports across the city? If you could give an estimate.
I mean, it depends on how many come in at any particular point. I mean, we do know that there are thousands of fire escapes in the city of Philadelphia. And that's not even counting what they all are. I mean, we believe that there may be even more that exist that, you know, we have never received reports for. So yeah, it depends on the given point in time, how many we may receive and how much time is spent. It's hard to give an exact figure of X number per week, per month, or so forth.
Well, and when you say when they come in, how do these fire escape complaints or complaints about lack of a fire escape summary report, how do those reach your unit?
So what we do is we run a check in the Eclipse system, which is our database, to determine which properties that have submitted reports in the past are currently overdue. So if there's somebody who submitted a report, it's 2024. If somebody submitted a report in 2017 or 2018, they would be overdue. What we do is, you know, we run a report to go 5 years in advance, and then anything that is outside the range of the 5 years is something that we would examine it. We would look to see if there's a report on file, and if there's not, then administratively we can issue a violation for not having submitted the report.
And is it the responsibility of the property owner to notify L&I or to otherwise provide some sort of notice when they receive an NOV that we no longer have a fire escape, or hey, we actually did submit a fire escape report, you know, maybe your records are a bit confused?
Yeah, so what would happen is if somebody submitted their report in a timely fashion, it would not come up on our search because we would have a situation where we would have found, okay, within the window of opportunity that this person has submitted a report. If they remove the fire escape for any reason, then it would be the responsibility of the owner to notify audits and investigations, because otherwise we would not be aware of the new situation regarding the fire escape, that there would be none in that situation.
Could that potentially be a hazardous situation where a fire escape may be needed for that type of building?
Yeah, and that's something that we would need to verify is if they're going to be taking away a means of egress, we would need to make sure and verify as a department that there is some alternate means of egress that's available that they provided for. Also, the other thing that we would look for is a building permit, because they would need to obtain a building permit in order to remove the structure from the side of the building. So,
I'm gonna interrupt you, Mr. Link. I think we're getting a little far afield
okay.
All right.
for
Well,
what the
thank you very
specific
much, Mr. Link.
situation is. So, but thank you.
Certainly.
I have nothing further for Mr. Link. If Mr. Yee has any questions, I can leave my exhibits on screen and he can tell me what pages he wants to see.
All right, all right, and then I have a question for you, Mr. Cohen. Mr. Yee, did you have any questions for the city's witnesses at this point in time?
Not really. So
Okay.
as I said, you know, basically I don't know anything about the re-inspection. Basically, I didn't got any notification after the re-inspection, but the report by the engineer is submitted on the September 12 last year.
Yes, but you did get the initial notice that you needed to provide. You got the initial notice in
Yeah,
January that you needed to provide the certification?
I'm pretty sure I got the initial, which
Okay.
early last year, like January 2023.
Correct, and you did not file it until September.
But I didn't get any further, you know, notification for the
Okay.
inspection.
Mr. Cohen, I have one question.
Yes.
And looking at, you've provided us with the code and I appreciate that. And I'm looking at section A-901.12.1, which is the section starting with the permit reinspection fee. In reading the section, it seems to imply that the expectation, or actually say that the expectation for being able to charge these fees is that there's actually going to be a physical inspection, not an administrative review of, oh, we didn't get this form. I mean, it states that each additional inspection required as a result of the need to reschedule a permit inspection. Because the work is not constructed in accordance with an applicable code, the work is not ready for inspection, access to the work to be inspected is not provided, or a violation of the code is observed during a permit inspection. So it certainly seems to assume that these fees are available because the department is incurring a cost to go out to the property.
Well,
So
sorry.
So I'm, right, go ahead.
I would actually differentiate the permit reinspection fee under 901.12.1 from the code violation reinspections under 901.12.2. Permit reinspections do need to be in person on site. But that's because the permitting process requires an inspector to come out and see what's being done on that site. Because if, let's say, the contractor is deviating from the plans or doing something potentially dangerous, the inspector actually needs to see it and be there on site to find that out. Code violations are different in that code violations, some of them you need to be on site to see. For instance, if it's a broken front window, yes, if it's been fixed, you need to physically go out there and see, okay, a window pane has been replaced. But if it's something like you are required to obtain a permit and you haven't obtained it, that actually can be reviewed on the records. But for the purposes of what Mr. Link was talking about, he couldn't even estimate how much time in-house it takes to do that. Because it's not just a simple, okay, check one page and you're done. We're talking about volume. And he explained there's potentially thousands of fire escapes across the city that they're looking at, that they're trying to get reports for, that are delinquent. So because there is a high volume of these, and because frankly, the statute does not differentiate between a reinspection where you go out to physically view something or a reinspection where you are checking a volume of records. I believe the reinspection fees are triggered either way. That said, it says in the statute, these are fees that shall be charged or is authorized to charge. It doesn't give us authorization or wiggle room to charge a range or to charge different amounts for failed reinspection. It sets it by statute.
Okay. Anything else you want to provide us at this point? Any other testimony?
Nothing further, just to reiterate that in this case, the timeline is clear and that the reinspections in June and September that failed are the triggers per this statute of these $100 and $200 fees. And that there is no administrative fee, no interest or any penalties being charged on this. It's just very simple.
Got it.
2 fees.
And board members, any other questions?
No.
We're ready to step back.
Yep, everybody just stay where you are. Oh, I forgot Paula. Oh. Sorry, Paula. You should get it now. I don't know what happened to me. There. Right here.
Everybody.
Yes, everybody's back.
All right, so Tax Review Board is back in session. We have reviewed the information provided by both the petitioner and the city, and it is the decision of the Tax Review Board to deny this petition. Mr. Yee, that those fees for 9-month period during which the city was contacting you on more than one occasion in order to renew that certification is very clear. They were sent to you, you understood, and those fees do apply. So you will get a letter from the Tax Review Board. Oh, can I get concurrence from fellow board members?
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cammerdeer, I concur.
George Mathis, I concur.
All Weiss, I concur. You'll get a letter from the Tax Review Board within 2 weeks with that decision. You will have 30 days from that letter to make arrangements with the Department of Revenue to pay that bill, either in full or in installments. And either party, of course, may appeal to the Court of Common Pleas if they so desire. So thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate your position, but that is the decision of the board.
Okay, so you said it's going to get an email or just mail me a letter?
We'll mail you a letter with the
Oh,
decision.
within 2 weeks to see
Yes.
what's the decision.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
You're gonna move
Members of the
on.
board, can
Yes.
the witness Dennis Link please leave, as this is his only matter on today's list?
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Link. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I appreciate it. And I'm glad I was able to provide testimony.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're
Thank
going to
you.
move on
Take
to case number 3, which is 30, well, it's Old City Concessions, 3004 North 24th Street. Last 4 digits of the docket, 9606. Petitioner is in our hearing room, getting settled. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Good afternoon.
How y'all doing?
Sir. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. Could you state your full name for the record, please?
Quinto Truesdale.
Could you spell your last name?
Truesdale.
Thank you. Mr. Truesdale, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to turn to the city representatives first so that we can get the periods of time and dollar amounts and controversy. Then we're going to come back to you and you can explain to us why you're here and what you're looking for from our board.
Okay.
Mr. Cohen?
Thank you. Well, let's start with Ms. Mitchell reading off the amounts at issue. Just for the board's sake, this is a license fee matter for the renewal of a mobile vendor annual license.
Okay, so the address is 3004 North 24th Street. As he stated, this is for a license fee, license number 791597. Bill date 5/25/2024, 2024, I'm sorry. Bill number 23217991. Current license fee is $383 even. Admin charge is $1,000. Which is the admin charge is $1,353, which is for the past due amount. Interest is $152.23. Penalty is $626.30, with a total of $2,540.57.
I'm sorry, Ms. Mitchell, you went kind of fast there. Can you?
Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to?
Can you redo the interest and the penalty?
Okay. The interest is $152.23. Penalty is $626.30.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And can you tell us what years those past due amounts cover?
Okay. Sorry, wasn't ready for that. Let me see here. Past due. I want to say if the past due amount is 13, it looks like approximately 4 years.
Third.
I was going to add, I believe my witness
Oh, I'm
manager,
sorry.
Tariq Gary, can cover that.
Oh, okay, I'm
We-
sorry.
Oh,
We
okay.
I
can
was-
address it
I-
as part of the city's main
Okay.
case.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was estimating. Okay.
Yes, all right.
Thank
All right, so
you.
Mr. Cohen, any opening comments?
Yes, this matter is actually moot because what Mr. Truesdale appealed was not a bill. Mr. Truesdale in 2023 started an application for renewal, but did not submit it. So it was a draft application, and as a preliminary calculation, he was shown this, $300 some plus 1,000 some past due license fee amount. And he printed that out from the website and he attached it to a petition to this board. The problem is he never actually submitted that application, so it was later marked abandoned. So the city never actually billed him anything. Now he has submitted, meaning in 2024, he has submitted a new application that actually was fully submitted, reached the billing process, the payment due process, but that's not what's before this board, and those numbers are different because they're calculated a year later. So technically, this matter before the board is moot because it was never due, it was never billed, but there is a bill out there. It just isn't before this board.
Did he get a bill?
He got a bill after he filed this petition when he finally submitted a renewal application, or I should say a complete renewal application that was not abandoned because it was incomplete.
When was that bill sent in? I'm sorry, when was that proper application sent in?
I have that in one of my records. If you'll forgive me one moment.
So he has a bill for this issue.
May 25th of 2024.
And when was the bill issued?
Sorry, that was the application that was actually completed. I don't think I have a copy of that because the application can take a couple of days between completion and like reaching the stage where a bill is issued. I think maybe Manager Gary might have that answer, but we'd need to swear him in first.
All right, why don't we do that? I'm sorry, what is your witness's name?
Tariq Gary.
Mr. Gary, can you unmute yourself? Thank you. Welcome. Could you state your full name and position with the department, please?
Tariq Gary. I'm the manager of license issuance.
Okay, Mr. Gary, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you. So we're talking about the actual bill that was issued having to do with this license fee. Do you know when that bill was issued?
Well, it wouldn't have been a bill for say. So when he submitted his renewal, he would have got it. It would have went into payment pending, and it showed him the amount that he owes.
Actually, if you'll permit me to share this on screen, I have some of that information in the exhibits packet. All right, Manager Gary, can you see the packet that's on screen?
Yes.
I think it's on page 27 in the packet. Okay. Sorry, trying to make this bigger.
Yeah, please.
There we go. Can you see it now?
Yes.
So which bill or which payment pending status application are you talking about?
So the last one is in payment pending. The previous ones were abandoned.
Joe, just for the record, is this what type of record is this?
This is the license record of all the previous renewal or first license application.
Is this the type of record that L&I keeps in the ordinary course of its business?
Yes.
And is the information that goes into this entered by an L&I employee through the course of their ordinary duties?
If they're doing the renewal, if not, the customer does it, but it's still the information is gathered and placed in this.
Now, so for this particular license, was it first created, first applied for and issued in 2018?
Yes.
And expired up at the top here, October 10th, 2019?
Correct, yes.
So what do these jobs mean underneath the approved BA application job?
The first one was a business renewal in 2019, which was abandoned. And jobs are abandoned after 60 days of non-activity.
And so what does it mean to be abandoned after non-activity?
That means that he initiated it and never followed up on it.
They've never completed the application and gotten to the point where, well, never completed the application.
Yes, never completed.
Now, at what point does L&I actually send out a piece of paper saying you owe this many license fees?
Well, we would send out a delinquent notice after a couple of years of a license not being active.
Well, if I were applying for a renewal of a license and I submitted a complete application, would that generate and send me an actual piece of paper saying this is what you owe for your fees?
No, so if he does it online himself on Eclipse, it's the option to pay or print an invoice. We don't send a bill out for that. And if he comes in person, it's just the option to pay.
So at what point is the actual payment amount created and triggered? Like you owe us X dollars.
At the completion of the application, once he submits it.
Okay, so then for these abandoned applications between September of 2019 and August 11th of 2023, did they ever reach the stage where he owed money?
Well, he never completed it, so he wouldn't have got the amount that he owes. But the money is still there. But he has to complete it in order for it to move forward, to go to payment pending.
So he completed it in 2024.
Yes,
And so there's now money owed.
Yes.
But would that incorporate the past year 2023 into what he owes in addition to the 2024 fees?
Yes, so to go all the way back to 2019.
And actually that's a good segue for me to show the first few exhibits in the packet, if you don't mind.
Hold on one second. I just wanted to know if the petitioner is following and does he have anything to say? Because we've kind of gone straight into the city's arguments. I mean, case in chief, and I think we should at least touch base with the petitioner.
Mr. Truesdale?
Oh, yes. Oh, I was listening to y'all. No, I was gonna wait till y'all finish for me to speak on it. So I'm just listening to everything she was going.
All right, so I think we got a little sidetracked because of this question of when this amount became actually
Here, let me
due
stop
or
sharing.
functional. Why don't you give us a brief synopsis of why you're here?
Well, what
What's
happened
going on?
was when I did a license in 2018, I did it in the winter and I had stuff set up for the summertime for the going into 2019. And I never got to use it because I believe COVID happened. So when COVID happened, everything was continued. And I didn't know if you don't renew your license that you get charged for them. So when COVID was happening, everything was going down. I never renewed the license. Then this in 2024, I wanted to go renew it. And that's when I found out how much it was. And then that's when I came down. I said, so I never got no paper or no information that it was penalties and all that stuff going on. And I'm saying to myself like that, if I never use the truck, and I should not be liable for this money on my part. That's what I'm thinking.
So did you use the truck in the summer of 2019?
No, because COVID happened.
No,
in the summer of
COVID was
2019.
COVID
2020.
was 2020.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. COVID was the summer of 2020.
Yes, and I did not use it in 19 because I was trying to set everything up for because I had stuff going into that summertime to have everything ready. Because I actually when I did the license, because I went down there, I was talking to somebody that worked down there, and we was talking about the food truck, what kind is, or the catering, or a catering license. So they said, if you're gonna do with your food truck, do the food truck license, but the food truck wasn't really completed. So I had bought the trailer, I believe in 2018, and I was doing work in the trailer, but I just had the license. So when I was done, I can just keep it moving. So actually, when I got the license, I actually was building a trailer myself. So I'm saying I never really got the chance to use it. And so that's why I'm like, I never knew this all added up, that this was going to happen. If I knew that something like this was going to happen, I just wouldn't never, got the license yet. But I was trying to stay ahead for everything that I was doing.
And did you use the truck in 2021?
No,
2022,
no,
2023?
no.
All right, but you applied for the renewal in 2023.
Yes, I replied for it because I was trying to set everything up again. I had some people that I was supposed to do what you call events with. I was calling them back, and then I was trying to get everything together. So if it happens, and I can already had a truck ready, and then we can just set the events up. So that's why I had replied for it around that time. There was some stuff I was looking into in that summer to do. And like I said, when I came down City Hall to renew it, and then to me, it was just like, wow, I owe all this money for like almost nothing from on my point. Because I don't know what the city be doing. And I'm new to this, so I did not know stuff was gonna add up for a year. I just thought when you don't renew your license or anything, you out of business. And I know if you're not in business, I didn't know that you still get charged or anything like that.
And are you in business now?
No.
Okay. Anything else you want to provide us with?
Not that I can think of. And I just want to know, like, for me to try to get this back up and running, that's what I was down for about the fees. And I honestly I can't afford that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't afford something that I was not making money to pay for.
Okay, Mr. Cohen.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna share on my screen the packet from earlier. Before I start again with Manager Gary, I just wanted to point out these exhibits, basically to lay out what the fees were at the time that they were triggered. First, we have the actual applicable code. So under 9203 street vendors, no license shall be issued unless the applicant pays a $330 fee. That was the amount of fee in 2017 before regulations updated it. And there's actually a...
So let me ask you a question. The principal amount that was read into the record was 383.
So
there's no
that's what I'm
back-
getting to.
There's
So,
no back principal?
well,
All right, go ahead.
if you'll indulge me a little bit, I'll get to that. Sorry, so this is the fee schedule that went into effect July 1st of 2020. So as of July 1st of 2020, the mobile vendor fee raised from 330 to 341.
Okay.
And that's where it stayed for a couple of years until January 1st of 2023. So that's what you're hearing about the new 383 amount currently.
Well, let me stop you. I'm not questioning the 383. I'm questioning that there's only 1 year worth of principal that you're claiming is due, but there's multiple years of
Oh,
administrative
sorry, the
penalty due.
admin fee or the past due fee that Ms. Mitchell read into the record, that contains all of the past due fee amounts. So basically, if you were to take the current year's 383 and then add up the past year's 341 plus 341 plus 330, etc., it would add up to the amount that Ms. Mitchell read into the record.
Okay, thank you. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
sorry. The reason why is because the further in time you go back, the more you have to rely on like older regulations and older law.
Okay.
And
Mr.
about,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, about the penalty and interest that Ms. Mitchell read into the record, that's under 91026. Any license fee, permit fee, etc., that's imposed and not paid when it is due, that's when you have an interest rate of 0.5% per month and then a penalty of 1% per month. So really just 1.5% per month. That starts from the date that a fee becomes due. And when does the fee become due? Well, Elle and I previously had been imposing it as of the next date after the expiration date of the previous license. Elle and I codified that into a regulation in November of 2020. So this is the regulation. The license fee for any renewable license which is eligible for renewal, meaning like it's an annual license or it's biannual license, not like a dumpster license which is yours forever, it's automatically imposed the first day of the next license period, meaning that's when the fee becomes due. So if the expiration date here is October 10th of 2019, then October 11th of 2019 is when the next license fee becomes due. And if the activity is discontinued, meaning you're no longer using your license, you don't have your mobile vendor card out there, you need to request to close it with LNI, and it needs to be an affirmative request. You can't just abandon it and have LNI assume that you're no longer there. Unless the license is affirmatively closed, that fee, along with interest and penalty, will continue to accrue. And that's just because there's so many licenses in the city and so many people with street carts, food carts, food establishments, scales and scanners licenses for grocery stores. So if you close your store, tell LNI. Like, make sure LNI knows, okay, these licenses need to be closed. Sorry, and from there, Manager Gary, can you see the document that I have on my screen?
Yes,
What is this document?
that is his motor vehicle sales license.
And what is the expiration date of this license?
It's October 10th, 2019.
And is this the type of document LNI keeps in the ordinary course of its business?
Yes,
And is the information that goes into this document provided by the license applicant and entered by an LNI employee through the course of their duties?
yes.
And we already took a look at this record, so we don't need to go over that again. What is this record that I have on screen that I will make bigger so you can see it?
Oh, thank you.
That's the screenshot of the license tab on the renewal job from 2023, which was abandoned.
And when was that job started?
Can you scroll down?
Sorry.
October 11th, 2019.
Or sorry, October 11th, 2019 is the first date of the past license period. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it extended until October 10th of 2023, the new expiration date?
Yeah, that would have took him to 2023 for all the fees.
I was going to ask as a follow-up, the current application that's in pending payment status, that would be new expiration date October 10th, 2024, right?
Yes.
And even that would have been, because it's now November 21st of 2024, even that's sort of too old at this point.
Yes.
Now up here in the upper right-hand corner is the created date of August 8th of 2023. Is that the date that the draft application was started?
That's the day that he that it was drafted. Yes.
So what happened with it?
I have no idea. So it was looked like it was abandoned after.
Well, let me
October.
ask the question this way.
We got it.
Yeah. When was the application marked abandoned due to being incomplete?
It would have been 60 days after the August 8th date.
Okay, so October 8th, the completed date?
Yes.
All right, sorry, I'm gonna make this smaller again. And just to double check here, well, this is the petition that was actually filed by Mr. Truesdale. Is this printout page, which was printed out August 11th of 2023, is this the fees page that corresponds to what was then the draft application for 2023?
Yes. The fees page. Yes.
And actually, if I scroll up, sorry. Is that the same page here, just this printout happens to be later than the expiration date or the abandonment date? Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And just to double check, the past renewal fee that's on this line, is that all of the past license fees?
Yes. It's yep. Correct.
And is these interest and penalty fees, are those calculated at a rate of 1.5% per month from whatever the date the license fee was imposed?
Yes.
And how does the license issuance team actually do that calculation?
Well, it's done automatically in Eclipse.
Or I should say, how the calculation that's automatically done, is it like I have my 2019 imposed license fee, and it calculates interest and penalty off that, and then it adds on the 2020 interest and penalty, which is calculated separately, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, it add on well, when you had the other screen up, when it told you when it expired and when the new date, and then when it expired again, that's how it is all calculated in Eclipse.
Okay, thank you. One moment. Oh, that's right. Let me go over here to this record here on page 33 in the packet. What is this application or this document that I have on screen?
It's a screenshot of the renewal job, the 2023 that was abandoned.
But is this a separate renewal job because it was created on August 11th of 2023?
Yes,
And this one is for an amendment, not a renewal, right?
it's for an amendment, correct? Yep.
Is this the type of document that L&I keeps in the ordinary course of its business?
Yes,
And is the information that goes into this document entered by the applicant and then by an L&I employee through the normal course of their duties?
yes.
Thank you. I have nothing further for Mr. Gary, but if Mr. Truesdale wants to ask him any questions and wants to use the exhibits, I'm happy to leave them on screen.
Oh,
Mr. Truesdale, before you do that, I think we want to do one piece of administrative work, and that is what Mr. Cohen has stated is that because you abandoned the 2023 application and actually completed 2024 application, we should be using that 2024 completion date with the updated dollar amounts for any kind of review. So we'd need you to agree to that and request, if you choose, that we amend your petition.
Well, the city has to
forward.
object at this point.
That's it.
Because
Well, wait a
the,
minute. No, that's fine. You'll get an opportunity.
Okay.
I know. So is that your interest in actually appealing what the city is claiming is due, is actually billable?
that I was appealed the $2,540 for.
I'm sorry, the 2020, whatever, well, appeal based on your May 25th, 2024 filing.
Oh, yes, I thought that's what I was here for, and I appealed all them fees.
Well, I think that what you attached was the 2023 abandoned application.
Oh, because
according to Mr. Cohen.
when I spoke to someone, when I got the paper from here, from this building, and they told me to put the 2023 because that should take care of everything for the previous years.
But the problem with that is that what you provided to us wasn't considered a bill because you didn't submit your petition. I mean, your application. All you did was work it up, but you didn't actually press submit. And because you didn't press submit, it was considered abandoned per the testimony of Mr. Gary and the explanation by Mr. Cohen. And so technically speaking, when you submitted this petition here in our office, the TRB, it was almost preemptive. And so a bill wasn't generated about what was past due, your intention, until you submitted a new application in 2024. Do you understand that?
So because when I did the other applications, and you said I didn't finish it, right?
Correct. It was considered abandoned.
Yeah, because yeah, that's when yeah, because it said it on there, and then I didn't know what's going on, and then that's when I went down to L&I. Then that's when they told me to finish the whole application, and then I should know what's going on from there.
You didn't finish the whole application. It was considered, you never went back into the system. You just printed out what was due and you brought it over here, but you actually had to press submit on the application and you never did. So they considered it abandoned.
Oh, I understand that now. I didn't finish it because I saw the fees that I had to pay.
I think we understand that, but what we're saying is you submitted when we hear cases here in our office, they actually have to be right. I don't know how else to say that, but it's as if you submitted something that wasn't due yet because you didn't do that last portion. And so what Ms. Weiss, the chair, is asking is, do you wish to amend your petition to reflect your most recent application, which you submitted in 2024?
Okay, so if I do that, that's just showing everything that's owed right now.
If you do
Through
that, it
May
allows,
of 2024.
yeah.
I'm sorry. can you say that
And,
again?
I'm sorry, through May of 2024, May
and
20.
the city has to object
on,
at this point.
Hold on, we're gonna let you do that. Is that a yes or a no, Mr. Truesdale?
Can you explain it again? Because I'm like, you said if I
Sure.
Because you abandoned and never completed the 2023 application, the city is considering that there was never a bill or an amount due generated, even though you printed out
okay.
an amount due. Until you actually completed your application in 2024, those prior amounts were not billed. Once you completed your application, they became subject to an invoice.
Okay.
So the printout that you attached to your petition was not considered complete for purposes of our review.
Okay, so everything I turned in was like incomplete. It's an incomplete job that I did.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So
technically, the board does not have jurisdiction to hear a case on an incomplete matter, on a bill that wasn't generated. And the board's chair is asking if you wish to amend it to the one that was in fact properly completed
Okay.
in May of 2024.
Okay, and then if I amend that one and then what will happen?
then we're gonna go forward right now. Mr. Cohen has an objection that we're gonna listen to.
Okay, yes, I guess we can go for it.
Mr. Cohen.
So the city's objection is that this is an August 11th, 2023 TRB petition. It was actually timely filed from the date of the document that Mr. Truesdale had at that time. And then half a year later, he submitted his 2024 application in May of 2024. That is a completely new document that actually resulted in a real bill with real amounts due. But now we're in November 21st of 2024. We are well past the 60-day jurisdictional limit for TRB to consider that bill. So essentially what TRB is proposing to Mr. Truesdale is to leapfrog the 60-day limit. And that the city can't abide, because that 60-day limit is jurisdictional. If he didn't appeal the May 2024 bill within those 60 days, then
Well, but
he
Mr.
can't
Cohen,
at
to
this point
interrupt
appeal.
you, he believed he had already filed an appeal. And
But
there's
he
no way
was,
for him to understand, or anyone really, to understand that the city was gonna take the technical position that, yes, all of these amounts are on our system due
no,
and
the
owing,
way
but we're
that
not
he,
gonna consider them due and owing till you hit submit, even though they're due and owing on our system.
the way that he could have understood that is by consulting with an attorney, or even just asking the city, like,
Yeah,
hey, is this bill a different bill than this
here.
document that is under appeal to
One second,
TRB?
sir.
That essentially, I get that he's confused. I understand that. But
But you
his
get that
confusion
why?
is not cover for granting non-proton consideration of an amended petition. He should have consulted with an attorney. He should have reached out to L&I and asked for clarification, and he didn't.
Okay, we're not gonna argue the purpose, but does the board want to step back and have a conversation?
Yeah, are we done with hearing the case? Is everybody?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think before we even hear any more, let's decide the procedural issue.
If everybody just holds tight, please. Oh. Paula, everyone is back.
Review board is back in session, and it is the determination of the board that we are going to allow this petition to be amended, bring it forward to May of 24. We will note Mr. Cohen's objection for the record. And Mr. Cohen, just to wrap up, is there any closing comment you want to make?
Actually, at this point, I need to,
Have noted for the record.
I actually need to recall Manager Tariq Gary to talk about very briefly the 2024 bill.
Very briefly.
Manager Gary, if you can unmute, and just to remind you, you are still under oath.
Yes.
The May 2024 bill, was that calculated using the same calculation that was used for the 2023 application?
Yes.
And does that also calculate like past license fees, current license fee, and interest and penalty in the same way?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Cohen, just for also, can we get those 2024 numbers?
That I don't have or didn't have in my
Ms.
exhibits
Mitchell,
packet.
Does Ms. Mitchell have the 2024? What are the current numbers,
Maybe.
I guess?
When
Maybe Manager Gary would have those numbers.
when Miss Mitchell read in the numbers, she did read 52524 as the building.
Oh, well, there you
I
go.
do know, I do have that down. I thought
You're
that was
right.
wrong, too.
I have that too.
Oh.
Maybe we have those numbers actually, Mr. Cohen.
Then I apologize. I thought.
All right, so
that
our numbers are
okay.
good. Okay,
All
all
right,
right.
thank you, Manager Gary. I have no further questions unless
very good.
Mr. Truesdale has follow-up on those last few questions.
Mr. Truesdale, did you have any other comments?
No, I don't think so, because I was still trying to.
Okay, so the board did have an opportunity while we were discussing the procedural matters to also discuss the merits of the circumstance and situation and review the evidence that was provided by both parties. And we were able to come up with a determination that I think still, a preliminary determination I think still stands based on the fact that no additional real evidence was put into the record. And it is the determination of the board that we will abate the penalty portion that has accrued against this, contingent on the petitioner entering into a payment agreement within 30 days from the adjusted billing on this matter. Can I get concurrence from the board?
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur.
George Mathis, I concur.
So, Mr. Truesdale, you'll get a letter from the Tax Review Board in about 2 weeks with our decision that the penalty portion only is abated. You will get a revised billing from Revenue Department. You will have 30 days from the date of that bill to enter into either a payment agreement or a payment in full with the department. Should you fail to do so, or should you enter into those arrangements but fail to maintain that agreement, the department does have the authority to reinstate any penalty that has been abated here today. So I think that concludes this matter. Thank you for coming.
Just for the purpose of the record, is
Yes.
that 100% abatement of that 1% per month penalty?
It's the $626 that Ms. Mitchell read into the record.
So yeah, I think we are talking about the same thing. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
I have a question for Ms. Mitchell, though. Ms. Mitchell, the account number that we have in our records here was based on that 2023 application. Do you have the account number for the 2024 application so I can update the account number to reflect the change?
Okay, the so-called account number, which is the BR number, which is going to be 2024 152808.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And that's what I have in the city's exhibits packet on page 27 as well for the
thank
payment pending status.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that concludes this matter then. Thank you, Mr. Truesdale, for
Can
coming.
I ask one question?
Mm-hmm.
So y'all said y'all out the full price, y'all just taking the penalty off just.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still allowed for what, what's that, the delinquent fees?
The administrative, with an administrative fee, that's actually the past due license fee amounts, and there's interest attached to that as well.
And it's not saying how much it is right now?
No, you have to wait for an adjusted bill from the license fee department, and actually, there's no adjusted bill. You actually, once you get our decision, you should reach out to the license fee number that's gonna be on our decision, and that way you can set up a meeting to go down there and find out what that amount is, but we can't tell you that right now.
Yeah, so it's still, basically it's still gonna be high, right? Or,
The board abated 100% of the penalties, which at this time was about $600.
all right, thanks.
All right, and we're gonna move on to our remaining cases, which are 1, 4, 5, and 6 on our docket, but are the same petitioner and same property. So 2956 Edgeley Street, Mr. Diorio, you're still with us? We can't hear you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman and the members of the board. Joseph Diorio on behalf of the petitioner Lorena Garcia.
Terrific, thank you. All right, welcome. So
Welcome.
we've got, I'm gonna just read in, we've got case 1, last 4 digits of the docket 8763. Case 4, last 4 digits of the docket 9194. Case 5, last 4 digits of the docket 6670. Case 6, last 4 digits of the docket 8764, all involving 2956 Edgeley Street. So, Mr. Diorio, as you've seen prior cases, I'm going to turn to Mr. Cohen and his witness first so we can get the dollar amounts for all of these bills and the amounts in controversy and the dates involved, and then we'll come back to you to put on your case with your witness.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Cohen?
Well, Ms. Mitchell, you are muted.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, starting with case 1 on our docket.
2956 is Edley Street. This is a clean and seal bill. Bill date 3/9/2018. Bill number 05619812. Principal amount $356.19. Admin charge $74.80. Interest $118.25 for a total of $549.24.
Okay.
Okay, the next one, 2956 Edley Street. This is a CSU demo bill. Bill date 12.
I'm sorry, it's a what kind of bill?
It's a
CSU Contractual Services Unit.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is for a demo bill.
Demo.
Demo. Thank you.
12/3/2019. Bill number 02676153. Principal amount $18,950 even. Admin charge $3,979.50. Interest $3,897.76 for a total of $26,827.26. Next one, 2956 Edley Street. This is a clean and seal bill. Bill date 5/7/2014. Bill number 05423187. Principal amount $755.47. Admin charge $158.65. Interest $461.57 for a total of $1,375.69. Final bill, 2956 Edley Street. This is a CSU lateral seal bill. Bill date 12/9/2019. Bill number -2676153. Principal amount $495 even. Admin charge $103.95. Interest $119.62. Total cost is $718.57.
Any opening comment, Mr. Cohen?
Yes, with respect to the two clean and seal bills from 2014 and 2018, this property was actually purchased by Ms. Garcia at a sheriff's sale in March of 2019. Neither of those clean and seals happened, both of them happened before the sheriff's sale. They were both therefore billed to the then current owner, John McFarland, I believe. So Ms. Garcia has never had personal liability for those bills They are also more than 6 years old, meaning they are beyond the 6-year MCTLA statute of limitations for personal liability. So those should be a very quick and simple, no action needed.
Are they leaned?
They are, but as you know, the municipal liens are not under the jurisdiction of this board. They're under the Court of Common Pleas's exclusive jurisdiction.
And which two bills are those?
Those are the 2018 and 2014 clean and seal bills. They correspond to petitions ending 8763 and 8764.
So it's case 1 and case 6 for our purposes today, correct?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
With respect to the
Hang on.
demolition sorry.
Oh, can you say the sheriff's sale date, or the date the property was purchased, just for my own notes?
I actually have that as Exhibit C2. The sheriff's sale itself was on March 21st of 2019. The deed itself was dated April 8th of 2019.
April 8th?
April 8th, yeah.
It's pretty quick.
Well, the sheriff's office used to be quick back then.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
All right, so case number 1 and 6, we understand you're requesting a no action needed. We're obviously going to hear from Mr. Diorio before we
Of course.
make determinations. Okay, so that leaves us with the demolition bill, which is case on our, just going through our docket 4. And
the seal lateral, which was from the same demolition.
right, I'm sorry, which is case number
Yeah.
6. So actually, it's
and-
4. I'm sorry, then I've got confused. The cases you're saying are no action needed for our docket are 1 and 5. And 4 and 6 are
Yes.
still, okay, let me just get it right. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, the two demolition bills, demolition and seal lateral, are actually also no action needed. They did occur within Ms. Garcia's period of ownership. However, as you're probably aware, back in 2019, the system of issuing bills relied on the OPA's data. So, and we dug up both of those bills and have them in the exhibits packet. They were both issued to John McFarland mistakenly, meaning Ms. Garcia has not been issued a bill for these charges. She cannot be held personally liable without being issued an actual bill. So the city's position today is that everything is no action needed, but for two separate reasons.
All right, and I will ask the same question. These 2 bills are leaned against the
They
property.
are leaned, but again, the
Yep,
liens are outside of the jurisdiction.
Just want to make sure I know what the status is. Okay, all right, so that's your opening comment for all, that covers all these bills, right?
The final
Right.
opening comment is that there was a 2020 action in the Court of Common Pleas filed by Ms. Garcia to attempt to declare that she was not liable for any of the demolition costs. The court dismissed that action on the city's preliminary objections, finding that she failed to exhaust her administrative remedies. Therefore, she could not seek that relief in the court, could not be granted that relief. The city argues that that also means that this board is bound by the principles of res judicata and collateral estoppel. Essentially, Ms. Garcia can't get another bite at the apple after having taken a try and failed.
Okay. Okay, anything else at the moment?
Thank you, members of the board.
Ms. Andre, did you want to?
No, I was just,
Ask
I feel like
anything?
that was a lot.
All right, Mr. Diorio? What would you
Yes,
like to
ma'am.
tell us?
Before I go ahead, I wanted to clarify something. So the position of the city is that there's no action on all of the bills and items the liens are outside the jurisdiction of the board, of course. But personal responsibility, there is none. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's the city's
Okay.
position for the two separate reasons, though. I didn't want to lump them all together because they are two separate legal bases for the two groups of clean and seal and demo bills.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, we have started to proceed on the liens in the Court of Common Pleas. And in the normal course, I'll be serving the appropriate papers to the city solicitor. Should I send those to you, Mr. Cohen? Are you able to accept service?
I don't accept service personally, but you can send them to the law department to the 14th floor. We have
That's great.
administrative staff that accept service at that location.
I'm normally down in federal court, so I mean, it's been quite some time.
And so, Mr. DiOrio, that's for all 4 of the cases? Or all 4 of the bills?
Well, for the liens, yes, ma'am,
So that's all 4 bills?
that's correct.
Okay.
Well, let me divide that in two, because it was a judicial sale, and the court order was that anything that existed prior to the day of the sale would not be the responsibility or be able to be liened. She took the property free and clear of liens, encumbrances, mortgages, and all that. And my documents, I have the judicial sale order at Exhibit A. I guess there's not a whole lot to do then. One last thing
Well,
though.
Mr. Cohen, is that something that can be discussed outside of the TRB hearing itself?
I was actually going to say anything that's relevant to the sheriff's sale, if it pertains to liens, would be relevant to any CCP action on the liens. We wouldn't really deal with it here also because the clean and seals that existed as of the sheriff's sale, those were issued to the previous owner, so we admit there's no liability for Ms. Garcia for those. No personal liability.
Property was sold free and clear. Would
Well,
that be also something subject
that
to
actually may need to
conversation?
be an evidentiary hearing before the CCP.
Okay,
Because, yeah, if the city wasn't notified that there was a sheriff sale that could destroy its L&I liens, then that actually may leave the liens on the property after the sheriff sale.
The documentation,
oh, you want to talk about
That is for the Court of Common Pleas. That is, yeah, I don't want to
All right.
bog down
Let's
the
not get
tax
into-
review board with
Yeah,
that.
No.
yes, ma'am.
All right.
The documentation, sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. DiOrio. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
The documentation was, on the judicial sale piece was conducted by the attorneys for the city. They had all the notice in the world that this was going on, this was happening.
All right, well, and that's a conversation between you and the law department or the sheriff's office.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
certainly understand what you're saying, however, I certainly get the point.
As the last piece is this, I believe that my client is entitled to a refund of a partial refund of the money she paid to purchase the property. And it's because of this. Under state law, once that the sale happens and then the satisfaction occurs of the liens and encumbrances on the property, the city was obligated to send a scheduled distribution per the tier of things or persons to be notified there. And in my calculation, there was the total liens and encumbrances was
I think I have to
$2,471.
object at this point, because if I understand it correctly, what you're saying is the schedule of distribution is she pays the funds to the city to purchase the property, and then the sheriff's office distributes those funds to whoever has liens, and whatever's left over is paid to the previous owner, John McFarland. So that money wouldn't be going back to your
No.
client, who was the
All right, well,
purchaser.
that's
It
not,
would go to the
that's not
previous
something
owner.
we have any jurisdiction over either,
Yeah.
but what I was gonna ask for Mr. If there's an issue with the sheriff's sale itself and any distribution, what's the process for that, Mr. Cohen, if you know?
Yeah, I would like to know
I
too.
actually
I mean,
don't know, because the
mean,
unit
there
that
is
I
a
work with in the law
refund
department
process?
doesn't. I
But I don't know that.
would
I'm
assume it
thinking
goes
Department
through
of
the sheriff's
Revenue
office.
refund. I'm
I-
sorry, goes to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I'm afraid I
know
don't
that-
know the process.
All right, I don't know that the Department of Revenue refund process would cover sheriff sale proceeds, but I don't know the answer.
I would
to
probably
that
need to file a petition and
question.
we'll ask to the sheriff to show cause why it shouldn't. So I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, so
Oh,
we're
no.
gonna, and I appreciate your patience, Mr. Dorio, sitting through all of this to get to the end where we're gonna find that there isn't anything that we can actually hear. But
Excuse me, ma'am, for the record, my exhibits were submitted and that those would be part of the record.
yes, we
Thank
have
you.
everything. And all right, so we're gonna go through these one at a time, however, and issue no action needed at this time, no action needed decisions. So case number 1, ending in docket 8763. Can I get board member concurrence, no action needed?
Yes, John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Case number 9194 are the last four digits of the docket. Again, a no action needed concurrence, please.
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Case number 56670 are the last four digits of the docket. No action needed, concurrence from the
John
board.
O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
And Paula Weiss, I concur. And case number 68764 are the last four digits of the docket. Concurrence for no action needed.
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. I think that completes the docket for us. Again, Mr. Durio, thank you for your patience. You waited a long time for us to get to the end here.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, take care, everybody. That completes our docket. Thank you, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you, members of the board. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Moria.
Mr. Cohen.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody.
care,
have a good-
everyone. Have a
good
nice
day,
weekend.
everyone, and a happy
Stay
Thanksgiving.
dry, right?
You
There's
too.
water falling out of the sky. Oh, my God.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye,
Yes.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
a happy Thanksgiving.
See
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving, everyone.